Welcome, everybody, to Ignite Your Soul, where we awaken the truth, embrace the extraordinary, and ignite a fire within. Welcome back. Today, I want us to talk about 3 proven ways to accelerate your awakening transformation. And when I was thinking about this episode, I had in my mind, what would I want to tell my younger self? You know, several years ago, as I was starting this journey, and I realized, you can argue, I guess one could argue that maybe my journey was my journey, but I see that I could have sped it had I just focused on these things, which were told to me along the way. I just didn't pay attention to them, didn't think that they are so important. Now that I'm in the place that I am today, I can see monumental these were in my journey, and I want to share them with you. And I'm hoping that you're in a place now that you can hear them and that they provide some benefit to you. And at the very least, if they don't quite land there, just keep an open mind and keep them. Keep them just something there that you continue to think about and sit with. All right, let's dig in. So the first one is was a big lesson for me, and it was something that I didn't quite understand until I went all the way through the steps of Al-Anon. And that is to establish a connection with a higher power, to source, to God, whatever that is for you. I'm not telling you to do it, I'm just wanting you to consider, what if there is something greater than you? Maybe it's a wisdom, maybe it's an energy, a presence, something there that is always guiding and supporting you. And just think for a moment that, like, compared to Wi-Fi, where you can't see Wi-Fi, but you know it's there and it helps you connect. And this higher power is something that, from my experience, not only provides support, but I can reach out and I can ask questions. I can ask for support. I can ask for answers. Did I say ask for questions? I meant ask for answers. And when you get that information, what's incredible about it is that it's always better than what you can imagine. That's how you know that you're getting information from a higher source. It's always better than what you can imagine. It's going to be different. I haven't had something come exactly the way that I asked for it. And here's why you don't want that. When you ask for something and it has to look a certain way, you're limiting yourself because you can only think what is possible based on your experience and what you have created, what you have in your memory, what you have learned, what you have experienced. And this, when you connect into your higher power, this is far greater. I've just had some incredible experiences when you start to trust and ask for what it is you want without being exact. just asking for that outcome or that thing. So here is a very, very quick example, and you're going to probably say, this wasn't my higher power, but I believe it was. So I needed to get a new microwave because the exhaust on my microwave wasn't working and the steam was coming up around the microwave and going onto the cupboards and affecting the cupboards. So I get the guy out, he takes a look at it, and he says there's really nothing wrong with the microwave, but the exhaust works, it just doesn't work great. And so he said, the newer microwaves, because this is older, might do a better job. So I go out looking for a microwave and I just do a quick search and say, okay, who has a great exhaust? And to be honest with you, when I went to look at them, I kind of went by looks and what I thought would do okay. And what, so then I get this microwave and the guy comes back to install it. And he has it up there and he pushes this little thing that comes out that's like a shelf. And I had said, I really want a microwave that has a great exhaust, right? That was something that was in my mind. Love, just send me a microwave with a great exhaust. Just help me find that microwave. So he has this microwave installed and he pulls out the shelf. And I can be very naive. I can be very naive. And so when he pulls out the shelf, I said, "Oh, is that like a shelf to put, your bowls on or something when you take them out?" And he said, "No, it's an extra exhaust. So you have an exhaust underneath the microwave, and then you have exhaust on this thing that pulls out so that it actually extends the exhaust." Had no idea that's what I purchased. No idea. But I had continued to focus and ask for, guide me towards a microwave that will solve this problem. Just help me solve this problem. Okay, so if you don't believe the story, just believe it as an example that when you ask for something, you're going to get something that I had no idea that microwave was out there. You're going to get something higher, better, higher. You're going to get something back that you couldn't imagine. And another example was I was going through a divorce, very difficult situation, and I had in my mind how I wanted this to unfold. And to be honest, it was hard to believe that it could unfold that way just based on the situation. And so, but I just continued to think about it and ask about it. And when I was going through the process, I just continually was guided. And when we got to the resolution of the process, it actually resolved really quickly, amicably, and better than what I could have ever imagined. And it really allowed me to move on and get into this place of healing. And so this is what a higher power does. It just is there to support and to expand your awareness, but it it depends on you to put that faith in. So I'm going to challenge you that you may not have it all figured out. Maybe you believe in a higher power. Call it God, source, light, love. I call it love because a mentor of mine called it love. And I really resonated with that because I was mad at God for a long time and it was very triggering. And I know there's a higher power. I know there's something bigger than I am out there. I just had a hard time it calling it God. So you call it what it is to you. And if you already have that established, great. Then continue with that. But if you don't, I encourage you and challenge you just to be open. And just notice what happens when you begin to ask for guidance. Here's the thing that happens for me when I ask for guidance. I don't always get it right then. In fact, many times I don't. It's sometimes when I wake up in the morning and I'm in meditation or I'm in doing yoga, I'm listening to something, it will automatically come. And then you know that you have it when you just have this certainty. You just have this absolute certainty. Okay? So hopefully that helps. Consider establishing a connection to your higher power because there is something bigger and greater beyond us that is there to help you. And I call it transformation in the vertical because the shaman helped me to orient it in a way that you connect to that higher source, higher power. I call it love. Connect to love. And as you connect to love, you just envision that energy field coming down through your body, all the way out to your feet, down, 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 down to Mother Earth. And so Earth is that feminine, and Mother Earth will pull that energy, anything that doesn't serve you. And your higher power is a masculine energy, and that connection will help you to come back to your truth because everything is here. Everything that you need already is, and it's here. Just as you've been distracted, like I was for so many years, with all this drama and disruption and trauma out here on the horizontal plane, where you're putting your focus outside of yourself. And when you focus back into this vertical, that's why I call it transformation in the vertical, you will experience coming back to that place of truth. And this will be this area of transformation. Okay. So then the next one is that everything, and I mean everything. This is one that I still try and put as much focus and energy onto today. And that is everything, and I mean everything is a mirror. What does that mean? Everything that is happening in your reality is a result of what is going on in here. That's why when you have a bad day, then bad stuff starts to happen to you because you're in that energy and you're attracting, and it's just continuing to compound. This is a big one. I was distracted many, many, many years with everything outside of myself because if you could just change who you are, I could feel better. If you could just change who you were, I would have a better day. If you could just do that thing that you are getting on my nerves, I wouldn't have to get frustrated. I was there for many, many years, and it distracts you. It keeps you separate from your oneness, your truth, your authenticity, and it slows down your transformation and awakening. It's what it does because you're not focusing on the issue, and the issue is always take that finger, always is pointing back to here. Always, 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 always. And when you can think that anything that happens outside of you is a result of something that's inside of you. So if someone ticks you off, guess what? What you're being judgmental about, what you are being critical about, is an energy that's within you. That is something that is within you. That's why you can see it. That's why you can identify it so quickly. So when I'm in a place of judgment, criticism, complaining is a big one. That's a big one where as soon as I start complaining, I immediately know I am in my limited self. I am playing a victim. And when you are pointing your finger outside of yourself, you are essentially a victim. You're a victim to the circumstance. You're a victim to someone else's actions. They're just being who they are. The people are just peopling. That's who they are. They're many of them are not out there, and I say that is that there are some that, want to purposely do something, but for the most part, they're not out there trying to make you have a very bad day. They're not. They're just trying to get by life just like you are. And they have habits that are different than you. They look at things different than you, and they have a different identity, personality. They're different. There are no two people that are the same. They can't be. They just can't be. No two brains are alike. And so they're opportunities, though. They're, if you look at them as opportunities, that's exactly what they can be. So I learned from very early in my process of transformation and awakening. I learned from this lady called, her name is Sue Mortar, and she has something called the bus stop conversation. And I loved it because I was just like, oh, wow, this is it. This is it. So imagine that you are getting ready to come onto Earth. You're still a soul and you're sitting at a bus stop waiting for that bus to bring you on to planet Earth. And you're there with someone else and you're talking about, oh, what are the lessons that you're going to learn while you're on Earth? Hey, I can try and help you out with that. And then you say, they ask, what are the lessons you want to learn? Well, I really would love self-love. I would really love to come back to self-love. I've been doing this for a while. And if I could just come back to self-love, I feel like I can come back to myself. Hey, I'll help you out with that. You're going to need something really big. You're going to need to have someone really annoying, someone really critical, someone that does something to you that is not nice, someone that cheats on you, someone that leaves you, someone that you're going to need that. I'll be that for you. And so you make this agreement, you come onto Earth, and lo and behold, you're in your life and you meet this person, and they're there to serve that lesson for you so that you can transcend. All right. So if you can view these individuals as those agreements you made because you wanted to come back and learn something in this last lifetime, you wanted to transcend, to come back and do something. For me, it's self-love, coming back into self-love and loving myself. Because so long I gave my power away looking outside of myself and thinking that it was you that was creating love. It was you that was creating love. But it's a mirror both ways. And that's what I love about it. When you find something annoying, that is an energy that's within you. When you resonate with love and happiness, that you can only resonate with it because it's in you. It is already a part of you. Again, you're just oriented in the wrong direction, looking for it out there, which I did for so many years, instead of pointing the finger here. Was very judgmental, trying to figure out how do I become uh, less judgmental? How do I not judge? Because I kept judging. I kept trying to fix that thing that I was still pointing out instead of pointing the finger here. All right. So if you can bring your awareness back to you on those things that frustrate you, that irritate you, that happen to you, those things that happen to you are a result of a state and energy that you are already in. And then it attracts we're like on a frequency. Think of it on a radio station. When you're on a radio station, you may have heard this before. You're going to attract those things that oriented and track that radio station. Okay. So you might be someone that is able to keep a high vibration, but there's one day that you just drop your frequency and you're down here. And then 1 or 2 days later, you have crap that happens. Well, that is that result of that lower frequency. Okay. So everything, I mean, everything is a mirror. And I know that people don't always do what you think is right or what you would agree with. They are just them. That's all. They're just doing their thing. Chicken wing, that's what they're doing. They're just doing their thing, and they're not doing their thing to get approval from you, although you think that you can do it better, or if they didn't do that, it wouldn't annoy so many people like you, then, that's just judgment. So you come back and you point the finger back at yourself. Okay. Everything, I mean, everything is a mirror. And when you find something that irritates you, just bring awareness. Write it down if you can't do it right then. But what I try to do is I ask the question, wow, what is it that is causing so much, reaction in me? Whether it be emotional, sometimes it's in the body, thoughts. What is it that is creating that reaction? I call it surrendering to it. Just get yourself in a quiet space and surrender to it. Ask the question, connect into your higher power. Help me to find this answer. All right. The other thing that you can do is Ho'oponopono. You may have heard of Ho'oponopono, and Ho'oponopono is a practice, it's a self-healing method. It's a practice of reconciliation and forgiveness that Dr. Lin, who gained his recognition by working in a mental institution and never coming in contact with any of the patients, but he would read their charts, and he calls it data. Whenever you get something triggered and you feel it, that's data. And you can say there's 4 parts to it. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I say that until I release that energy, until I release whatever that is that I feel, think, or a sensation in my body. I just repeat it. I repeat it. And it's not to fix the other person. Yes, it may clear that data that is a common denominator between the two of you and neutralize it. And it may help both of you. But more importantly, it's data within you that you want to release. You want to become neutral to that. All right. Because when you're neutral, you're not distracted. Your subconscious isn't working in a conflicting manner from what you desire. All right. That's what neutrality does. Those are what I call rocks when you are a mirror and you feel something. They're little things that you can clear. It's becoming aware of them and setting that intention, reaching out to your higher power, and then you can do the Ho'oponopono if you resonate with it. Look it up. It's a pretty incredible story. He was able to help many people at that mental institution. In fact, I think they actually closed it down without ever having to meet with any of those patients. Okay. So I left the best for last, the biggest and the best, the biggest and the best. This is by far the biggest impact that is going to help you accelerate your transformation. And that is to dissolve or neutralize those subconscious obstacles, limitations, constraints, whatever you want to call them, that are either preventing you from achieving something or they're causing anxiety, disruption, drama in your life. Okay. They're causing you to do something that you really don't want to do, but you can't help it. Like you can't help it when many of my patients are this way that they not patients, clients. Many of my clients are this way where, they just they get into because it's a biological reaction. Once it triggers that memory, and that memory has that emotional content and that triggers that biological process within your body, it's hard to be present and to make choices and decisions that are working for you, that are in alignment with what you want versus not what you want. But here's the thing. These are what I call boulders. Boulders, big. They're big, 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 big. And they're big, but they're blind spots, if that makes sense. It's like every day you're walking down this path, you see this huge boulder and you walk around it. And you've just done it so many times that you can't see that that is this huge boulder that's sitting in your path. But it is running subconsciously, and it's driving your behavior, it's driving your patterns, it's driving your choices and your decisions, and it is conflicting what you want to do. It is conflicting with your passion and purpose of your soul. Our souls are so strong, but man, when the subconscious is running, especially if you're unconscious to it, and what does that mean? You're not aware. Like you don't have presence. You're going through your day on autopilot. And no judgment there. I did it for many, many years. Many years. Was in autopilot from the moment I got up to the moment I went to bed. 100% autopilot. So no judgment there, particularly if you're unconscious. You're not going to see them. They're just going to run. It's going to run. It's like a program, software program that's running. It's going to run and it's making the decisions. And it's actually, because we are energy, it is creating the frequency and it is attracting things in your life that resonate with that. And it is affecting what you see and experience. It is affecting the way that you see the world. And it's holding you back. And it's keeping you separate from who you really are, from your truth and authenticity, from your true essence. It's holding you back. All right. This one, you want to, reach out to someone that can neutralize and release subconscious blocks. I do this. I learned, I was in a program that neutralized the subconscious blocks, and I did this through many years. I did it through Al-Anon because when I was doing the steps, there weren't those Al-Anon tools that really were there to help me deal with some of the stuff that was coming up. And so I would do this process to neutralize the subconscious blocks. And then I did that for many years, got many big boulders out of my way. And then I learned this process because I felt it was so valuable. It really was that thing that changed my life. Excuse me. It really was a thing that helped me align with my soul. And that's what the process does. I call it the soul process. The subconscious obstacles unlocked for liberation. It's a process. And when you're able to release those subconscious blocks and it neutralizes that emotional content that starts to run that biological process in your body so that you can just have that memory, but not be triggered by that memory and not have that memory impacting your life. And what it does is it allows you to function as one. Because when you have these subconscious blocks, There are parts there that are fighting against your intentions because they're just trying to keep you safe because that's what they learned from the past, that you were hurt, that, protect you from the fear, protect you from the situation, protect you from the pain. They're there to protect you, and that is conflicting with your desires and your goals many times. Of where as you are transcending through your awakening process, and now you want to transcend into this person, and this person maybe, wants to speak. Maybe this person wants to have a podcast, but you just can't get there. It's this subconscious block that is conflicting with your desire because it thinks it needs to keep you safe for some reason. This, my friends, is the very biggest thing that is gonna bring you back to oneness, to freedom, to love, to happiness, everything that you are looking to get when you connect into your vertical power, transformation in the vertical, and you release those blocks and obstacles, subconscious blocks and obstacles, you will begin to come back to who you are. You'll be able to take that mask off. I think of it as a mask. It felt like a mask that I wore for many, many years because I had to. That's how I learned to orient to the world, but it never felt like it was a part of me. And when I had that mask on, I was fully functioning in that program of how I learned to function, what, I learned when I was younger, and it didn't serve me, but I continued to do it over and over and over because I thought that's who I was. When you release those subconscious blocks, you're able to take that mask off and stand in the vulnerability of you, the vulnerability of truth, of authenticity, of freedom, of love, of happiness. You will be able to bring all your resources back to you. And then the world is your oyster. You can have and be anything that aligns with your desire and your purpose. You will have that clarity and that knowing that you're looking for. It's there. It's already there. It just is covered up with all that gunk. I call it gunk. But it's really subconscious patterns, behaviors, and program that you learn from a very young age that doesn't serve you anymore. But you don't know any other way to be. When you can release this, first is the awareness, and it's going to come up with disruption in your life, with chaos, with problems, with suffering. It's going to show itself that way, or you're not able to achieve those goals that you want to achieve. All right? That's how it's going to show up. So you being aware of it, you may not know exactly what it is. That's why it's helpful to have someone that can help you see that blind spot and then to help clear it and neutralize it. Because when you do that, the energy will release. And when you go to the doctor and they have the lens and it's really blurry, and then she makes an adjustment, and then this eye can see a little bit better, and then, she's trying to adjust this eye. That's how it is like going through the process. Once you release those subconscious blocks, your vision, and I'm not talking about your eyesight, your vision of what you see, where you focus, and who you can be for yourself starts to get clearer. The fog begins to lift, the blurriness begins to go away, and you gain this clarity and knowing of who you are. And then it becomes a situation where you can't be anything else. You have this drive that you've got to be this person that is true to who you are. All right. It is there. It's available to you. So the three things: consider establishing a connection to your higher power. And if you're already doing it, rock on. You're a step ahead. Everything, and I mean everything, is a mirror. Everything is a mirror. I love this quick thing Sister Shivani talks about. Everything's a mirror. And you're looking in the mirror and you see this spot on your face. All right. Are you trying to clean the mirror because you think it's a spot on the mirror? Or are you looking at your face and seeing what's on your face? That's what the mirror is. All right. And then the third is releasing, dissolving those blocks, those subconscious blocks, or subconscious. They're running underneath the surface. You don't even, you've been so used to them being there, you're not even aware that they're there because it just feels like this is your MO. All right. Neutralizing and dissolving those subconscious blocks will set you free. It will bring you back to you. And when you come back to you, you have full resources of love, freedom, empowerment, happiness, whatever it is you want, babe. It's there and available. It already is there. It just is covered up with that gunk, that subconscious gunk that is causing disruption and chaos in your life. All right. So I challenge you to take one of these that resonate with you and start to consider it, look into it. And if you're already doing it, leave me comments because I'd love to hear your story. And if you have any questions, by all means, please reach out to me. And I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear how this might help. So thank you so much for being part of this. I very much appreciate you. So today I want you to step into your extraordinary power. You are powerful, powerful. I want you to step into your extraordinary power, and I want you to experience, focus, create, and more importantly, settle. Only settle for that which ignites your soul. All right? Till next time, can't wait. See you soon. Take care and live. Live this beautiful life. See you soon. Bye-bye.